So after the god-awful last Saw film, Spiral, I thought the franchise was over and done with. But before I could finish those words, a new Saw appeared out of nowhere, Saw X, or Saw 10 to be exact. And this one aims to revive the same format and premise we all know and love. So, does Saw X make a return with a bang, or does it find itself in the same lousy reverse bear trap as the last few films did? Let's find out. Saw X finds our favorite killer John Kramer in the outskirts of Mexico as he tries a last-ditch effort to get his cancer cured by a group that claims they can. However, things go south once he realizes that things aren't quite as they seem. While the movie starts off a bit slow, it does a great job at humanizing John Kramer and taking its time setting up a story rather than jumping headfirst into a lackluster storyline. Now, while we're there for the traps and games overall, having a decent storyline gives the story more life. I like that the premise was thought out enough to justify why he's doing what he's doing, and focuses on a group of people rather than select individuals. Tobin Bell is great as John Kramer, as usual. His demeanor and cold, calculated style has always risen the Saw series a few notches, and this one is no different. And it isn't the same without his deep and surprisingly soothing voice uttering, "I want to play a game." Saw X returns with the same style of traps as the previous movies before Spiral. What I've always liked about the franchise is how there is a moral reasoning behind what he's doing, even though of course the traps are extremely gruesome and twisted a lot of the time. As a result, this movie does indeed scratch that Saw itch we've been having and have been missing since the last decade. Another pro of the movie is of course the impressive effects. It's a complete gore fest, and the special effects and prosthetics used look extremely realistic. The blood factor is at an all-time high with this one, and as always, the production team really holds it down. Now, where didn't it work? So while I do admire the movie for taking its time and trying new things out, it does fall into the same gimmicks and tropes that we see in a lot of horror movies in general, not just the Saw series. With that being said, there's a lot of unpredictable moments though to make up for it. But where Saw X stumbles the most is the last 20 minutes of the movie. I hate to inform you that the end falls victim to a lot of plot holes and lingering questions, particularly with the plan that Kramer has in place from the get-go, or so they want us to believe. To add on to that, without flat out spoiling anything, the end is pretty unsatisfying in a nonchalant type of way, and when you see the end, you'll know exactly what we're talking about. If the ending was better and a little more tightened, this would be a really good addition to the series. But with those glaring issues along with the way it does succeed, this just ends up being a solid addition, but nothing more. In Here is actually a great addition to the series, but with those little downfalls, it kind of stops it from going up a notch or so. So, all in all, Saw X gets a pretty decent 6.7 out of 10, really close to a 7. It was entertaining, and will be sure to quench that Saw craving you may or may not be having. And it is the Halloween season after all. But let us know below what you thought of this review and what you thought of the movie. And be sure to follow us to stay up to date with the latest reviews, lists, and other movies and TV content. Thank you very much for watching and for all the support, and we'll catch you on the flip.